training for protection officers in specialized fields such as firearms, conflict resolution, and customer service.
Then we have retired Colonel Ricardo Garcia, who is the principal security consultant with over 30 years in the security industry at the national security and corporate level. He has diverse expertise and knowledge in security management and is a board certified protection professional, a business continuity professional, a marine security RSO under the IPS code, certified firearms instructor, and a corporate trainer.
Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you for sharing your knowledge with us today.
We have some very excited members of the Heroes Foundation all logged on and ready to go and ready to learn everything that you have to share with them this afternoon.
So, heroes and special viewers, we know there are lots of you out there. We want to ask you to make use of the chat under YouTube. It will be running throughout the entire session. So if you have any questions, anything you'd like to find out from Marcus and Colonel Garcia, you can post it at any time throughout the session. Okay, so Marcus, Colonel, we hand it over to you.
Right. Good afternoon, Garcia, and good afternoon to our wider audience. Just as a check, are you all hearing us clearly?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Excellent. So good afternoon to everyone again. My name is Marcus Tiwari, and I have with me Colonel Garcia here. This evening, though we had a bit of a late start, we are still going to deliver some effective information to our wider audience. Now, we understand that our target audience this evening would have been teenagers and students from the ages of 14 to 16 years old. However, because we are streaming live on YouTube, and there may be more persons, even parents, brothers, sisters, anybody, in fact, anybody who's a hero at Heroes Foundation tuning in, we may actually throw in one or two other extra tips that may be of use for the wider and general public. So this afternoon, what we are looking to achieve is areas such as, one, managing excitement. We are looking to show you and explain to you the importance and dangers of becoming too excited in a situation and too excited with knowledge that you learn, especially here today. We will also be looking at the use of force, understanding use of force, not just for children or teenagers, but use of force for adults, use of force for different situations, and use of force in a general sense as to how far is too far, how much is too much, and what can you put yourself in a legal situation by doing in terms of the wrong things. In addition to that, we're going to go into some preventative measures now to avoid situations like that, to avoid you becoming a victim, the attitude of not being a victim. And we are going to go into our actual demonstration, whereby we have the Ryudan Dojo, who is going to come forward and we'll introduce our wonderful team here, who is going to actually show you some self-defense tips and some self-defense moves, whereby you can probably learn at home, not to practice on your brothers and your sisters and not to practice on the inside, but moves that you can use to defend yourself in a serious situation. So with that being said, I would like to start in my introduction of the use of force. Now, the use of force. If you are in a situation, especially as a young person or just as a general citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, if you are accosted or if you are to defend yourself at any point in time, you need to understand the dangers of going too far. For example, you may have a pencil as a student and you are in an altercation. Let's just say it may be bullying. Let's just say it may be a stranger. Now, if you are in a situation where your life is not in immediate danger, then maybe stabbing someone or causing permanent injury or, as the law says, causing grievous bodily harm. If you go to an extent that far, you can be charged for that. You can be arrested for that, right? Because there is a certain line, that is a very fine line between self-defense and becoming the attacker in the situation. Now, if you understand your situation, you want to always avoid contact and conflict first and foremost. Avoid becoming the person who is the aggressor. If there are situations where you can walk away you walk away. And that is how you begin to manage yourself and your behavior and your actions and your attitudes. In event that your life is in immediate danger, if you have someone who would have attacked you, or someone who's attempting to kidnap you, or you are at home, or you are doing online classes, and then someone storms into your home, then by all means, you are now enabled to use any method that you can to preserve your life and the life of those around you and your loved ones. So when managing these things, and when you see the techniques that we have to offer to you later today, you have to use them wisely. And using them wisely would carry me straight into managing excitement. Now, I remember as a young student in martial arts as well, every single time my sensei and I, we would train, or one or two of my colleagues, we would train, we would actually do some interesting moves. And I would be like, wait, can I see that again? Can you show me that again? Because I couldn't wait to see the opportunity or to try to see if I could try it on my own. Now, me being that young, that was the degree of excitement. And because of that, I would like to explain to everyone at this point, when you learn these techniques and when you learn these moves, the human body is a weapon in itself. The human body is dangerous if it's used wrong. Anything can be considered a weapon. Something as simple as the keys for your car, something as simple as the keys for your home, something as simple as children. All young persons, they have cell phones. Cell phones can be used as a weapon. These things are called improvised weapons. And if you continue to be narrow-minded and you continue to get excited easily about these things, then you can end up in a situation where an improvised weapon such as your elbow, your knuckles, or your forehead, or your knees, or your cell phone is not going to be enough to defend you. So you have to manage that excitement. You have to care for others. You have to care for your family. You have to care for your home. You have to avoid becoming a bully, avoid becoming an aggressor, and avoid turning yourself into the type of person that, hey, I can defend myself, but I'm also seen as a bully. Movies that young persons can look at, movies like Never Back Down. There's also Cobra Kai, one of my favorite series on Netflix right now, where that shows the perfect example of becoming too excited and using what you learn for your own benefit and for your own defense for the wrong reasons and taking it just too far. So with that being said, I would like to just move over now to the Colonel for him to explain a little bit to you all on preventative measures. How could you not become a victim? How can you control yourself and your environment? How can you maneuver, etc.? So, by the interest of time, Colonel.
Right. Good afternoon, heroes. Right. We are today at the Rudan Dojo Youth Empowerment Foundation, and just now we'll introduce you to the team, Sensei Logan and her team that will be carrying you all through to some actual self-defense move. They'll give you a demonstration, and then they will go through some simple moves that you as kids can do to distract, delay, and escape. But remember, self-defense is a lot about preventative measures. And we just want to speak today about some tips and about 3 simple things that you can do as young persons, right, to assist you in distracting, delay, and escaping from anybody who might want to perpetrate a crime or harm against you. Now, the guy or the person who is coming against you, he has 3 things going for him. He is going to look at 1, his own desire to do it, his own skill that he has to do it, and the opportunity that you would have presented to him for him to be able to commit that crime or that harm against you. Now, you can't do nothing about the skill of the guy. You can't do nothing about his desire, but you can definitely do something about the opportunity that is being presented to him. And if you take away that opportunity from him, which you have control, you would minimize his ability to perpetrate that crime or your ability to survive it, enhance your ability. So let's talk about 3 simple tips. 1, situational awareness. At all times, you must be aware of what is going on around you. How many times have you been walking around with your phone, watching your phone, texting or listening to music, and you are not aware of what is happening around you? Once you are aware of what is happening around you, you are able to process information and able to take a course of action if something happens. So you are walking down the road and you see something, you can say, hey, this looking suspicious. Hey, I don't like how that guy looking. Hey, look, this fella coming up on me. Let me go to the other side of the road. hey, let me lock my car door, right? So once you are aware of what is going on around you, you are able to make decisions quickly and to be able to react. The second one, try not to put yourself in risky situations, right? In the same situational awareness, look at where you are placing yourself. Look where you are walking. Look at what you are doing. So you will not decide to, in the afternoon, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the night, decide to go on the road by yourself, right? And you know you're walking down the street and the street light, there is no street lights. You are placing yourself in a risky situation and allowing yourself to become a victim. So number two, don't put yourself in risky situation. The third one, right, and we'll add another half to the third one is trust in your instincts, right? We have this instinctive ability to recognize that when something is wrong. How many times you're doing something and you say, I'm not feeling to go down the road today, no. Or you say, I'm not feeling to go in the park today, no. I ain't feeling to go in the mall today, no. You see two of them fellas who are asking me to go with them, I ain't feeling to do that right now, no. Something wrong. Trust the instincts that God has given you, and it will allow you to partially discern at times, hey, I'm not going and get myself involved in this. And last but not least, having a positive attitude and mindset. Sooner or later, some of the preventative measures, right, might not work, and you might get yourself in a situation. And you have to place yourself in a mindset that would allow you not to become a victim unwillingly, right? So that you are not submissive to something that is going to cause you harm or possibly death, right? That you actually have a positive mindset, that you make up your mind, I am going to survive this, I am going to get away from this, I'm going to run this, and not freeze up and become a victim. So the preventative measures we spoke about are very simple and easy to apply. You can do it on your own. Again, 1, always be aware of what is going on around you. 2, placing yourself in risky situations. 3, positive mindset. 4, trusting your instinct. What we're going to do now is that at times, those things are not going to work, and you have to have some means of being able to defend yourself. I'm going to introduce to you right now Sensei Marva Logan of Rodan Dojo Youth Empowerment Center and her team. And they're going to take you through a couple demonstrations and then a couple basic and simple moves, right here on the kids, that would allow you to be able to defend yourself if you ever come under harm or any threat. Sensei Marva and the team. Have fun.
I present available and all the viewing audience. I am Sensei Marva J. Logan, one of the founders of Rudan Empowerment Foundation. And we are here today just to make sure that you get the correct message about self-awareness and self-defense. Remember, self-defense starts with your self-awareness. So I'm going to introduce my team today. We're going to have some fun, but I want you to take every single thing that we do very seriously. I know some of you all out there is doing martial arts as well. Every one of the martial arts system is the correct system. None is better than the other. Whatever works for you to save your life or to prevent an incident is the correct form of martial arts. So don't worry about one style over the other. All styles complement each other. So today I have Shodan Chantel, Shodan Shadea, Shodan Chanel, purple belt Ethan, and orange belt Shania. So we're going to start today with a little bit of cutters. But before we go there, I just want to re-emphasize all that you have learned and heard so far. 1, martial arts is not the KI alone. It's about your defensive and preventative measures. Martial arts starts with your mind. If you are mentally strong and you can prevent a situation, that is one form of martial arts that works very, very well. Secondly, be aware of you, the individual, your strengths, your weaknesses. Be aware of your surroundings. If you know very well that you're going to be out late or you're lying in a space that you're really not comfortable, please avoid. Because one of the things that happen, if there's an opportunity for a crime to take place or incident, then it's going to happen. But if we take away that opportunity, it's not going to happen. So do not put yourself in a situation where you are vulnerable to attack. Secondly, always believe God gives you everything to defend yourself. Try and talk your way out of a situation. The thing is, deflect, avoid, escape, run and ball, form, draw attention to yourself. As children, if you ball help, people will help you faster than if you say anything else. But as adults, we advise you to use other things. We advise you to ball, rape, fire, or police. Those things draw attention to you. Because children are smaller, we want to save everybody. So going straight into it, I want to pay attention to the techniques. I'm going to allow our two younger students to go first, and then we're going to get the techniques. Trinidad and Tobago, please take a look. Right. So we have the Ethan and Shania. Genesis. There we go. Good. 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 Go to the other. Good. I'm going to introduce you to the other team, which is our show dance, and they're going to do just two katas, and then we're going straight into some techniques. Show dance. 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Read. Push. Begin. Four. Three. Push. Begin. I'm going straight into some techniques. One of the things that happen when we try to avoid is attacker coming to you, whether in your home or in the street or in your classroom. So these are some of the things we're going to see. Right? So we have somebody coming up to you. Right? Please, no. I don't want to play. I'm not playing. Man. So you draw attention to yourself in the classroom so the teachers can come to see what is happening. We are not going to fight. If you could avoid that fight, that is your first line of self-defense. If the person insists on grabbing you because the teachers have a meeting in the office, you can see what's going to happen. So the grab, I still don't behave as a grabbing type. You're going to reach, serve, swing, and push away the person. You're not going to confront. The idea of self-defense is to get away, get help, and you make sure that is your defense. Now, we're talking about the streets, and we're going to see what's going to happen in the streets. That is classroom. But we're going to talk about the streets. Now, we know there's pencils, pens, pen knives, nail files, and all those things. We're not going to use those things unless our life is threatened. If our life is threatened in the streets, and that is the only way to survive, fine, that is okay. Just remember, you must use reasonable force. The idea is to deflect, escape, and live. Right? So they grab you, same hand attack, they want to pull you in a vehicle. Sometimes they tell you stand up and push and fight. We don't even want to do that. More the attacker pull, we ease to them, push them and go. And the position is to run and hold for help. Again, very simple. Grab your same hand. They're rude, but I don't want to put because more I pull tighter the attacker. They could be bigger than me or smaller than me, but I don't want that. Our line of defense is to get away. So they're pulling. I ease to them. I turn my hand up. So what you do, you turn your hand to the thumb. You can either pull this way and run. You pull again, you turn your hand with all your force one time and run away. Or if you're really strong and you can't do that because they're fighting you, you raise up, you turn, you grab. Press a little bit, push, and go. So we come in again. Another attacker coming on the streets as women, they like to grab us. They grab and they say, you're doing cat fight. So cat fight is good, ladies and gentlemen. We want to draw attention. We're not going to stand up like this. We're going to make noise, ball, crack up your face. Use your hands for deflection into their face. So you're keeping this hand up all the time. So you're not going to, like if you're fighting, what you're really doing, look at my hands. I am here begging. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Eyes, face, I don't want to fight. And I'm moving away. I am not going to stand up to fight that person down to say I won a battle. No. The idea is to get away. Get away, preserve your life. However, we know there are stops for women right now. People in your car. So you're going to come in a car. Ladies, school children, try your best not to get into the front seat of a vehicle, especially when it is empty. If you're going in a vehicle, take the vehicle number, send it, text it, snap it. Try and sit behind the driver. The reason for that is you could see the driver and you could see the other seats that empty who coming in your vehicle. If for some reason that other person come in and sit to the back of you or the front and they're driving in a different direction, slide your hand to the driver's seat. It have a lever there that brings the seat backwards. Pull that seat backward, open that door and you dive and you roll out that door. If you can't do that, you prefer to have the vehicle collide with something so the attention of the passers-by going to come anyway so they could get attention to you. We're going to do the one where they want to grab you from your throat behind. No, some martial artists, they will throw you on the ground fine. Nothing wrong with that. That is good. If you're training, that is excellent. It works well. But remember, as a young person, so plenty of us do not know martial arts. So your idea is that the other hand, they're actually here. You're not going to stand up. You're fighting up. You're fighting. You're getting your hand in. You turn one time. Make sure you get a hand. Do not slow again. The hand around the throat. You raise your shoulder. You're fighting up. You're getting your hand down, pulling down. Stepping your leg back. Turn out. One time. And you go with that. Now remember, every technique could work. Whatever works for you in that situation is correct.
everyone. We apologize. The dojo has dropped off for a second. So technical difficulties, we know how technology is. So we just want to reiterate what Sensei was sharing with us. Yes. Okay. So we just like to reiterate some of the great tips that Sensei was sharing with us.
I think for everyone who's been in other sessions, you'd realize that one of the key things they've spoken about today was being aware. And I think that was something we were really, really emphasizing on throughout all the sessions we were having.
Yes.
You need to be alert, you need to be present. I think they are back on.
Yes, they are back.
So we're just gonna switch right over. Gonna go right over.
Okay, so we'll hand you back over to Marcus. Can you all hear us?
We are so sorry about that. We just kind of demonstrated that our power and force kicked our way out of the call. We are handing over now. We're going back to the grabs.
Great.
Let me grab one more time.
You seen us?
Yeah, we're seeing you clearly.
We're not seeing it on the
Somebody grabbing you. Again, welcome again to the grabbing. Try not to fight up and root and pull and all that. That is good for persons who know what to do. But this is a normal grab. You just turn your hands, pull, and you run away. Always put your hands up. You do not want any fight. You're not here to fight. Self-defense, the name is correct. Defense. So you avoid confrontation, you avoid the attack as much as possible. We're going on to the one that is the throat. I think you all missed. Now, there are different types of throat grab and there are different types of throats. For those who do in martial arts, you'll find that have the hip and throw, the sweep. But this one we're going to do is very simple. Somebody choking you, you're not going to stand up. Whether it's a child, whether it's an adult, you're going to fight up. Raise your shoulders, get on. Because they're not going to stand up and say, choke you. And while you're doing that, you pull the arms down, you step, you turn. Now, if you're really strong, you pop the arm and you run. You're not going to stand up and fight. The idea is make sure you deflect, escape, and run for life. You're going to do the bear hug. Somebody grabbing you from behind, you're coming from a supermarket, you're coming somewhere. Children don't stand up. Ball hell. If children ball hell, they come quicker than if an adult ball hell. For the adult, you're balling rape, police, fire, and you're using your voice, but you're fighting up at the same time. Stick to the leg, turn out, and you go. We're doing that one more time. Look at it. You're fighting up, you're kicking to the leg, back, turn, head, push, and you run. You're not going to stand up and pound your attacker to the ground. It makes no sense because many times the attackers do not come by themselves, always with somebody. We're going to do something that is practical. Many times they have domestic violence cases in your home. Be aware of what you have in your home, things you could use, whether it's a cup, a plate, whether it's something. Don't just stay there. You know your home. Hide under the table. You're running and you're balling. Throw something out the window so the neighbor could see, so you could draw attention to yourself. Just close with the woman. Like trying to get her to run away, sometimes they reach out and grab your hair. So she's trying to get away, they reach and they grab your hair. Don't pull forward. Right, don't do that. You want to heel, step, go shoulder, and turn. So you're closing the gap, so you break the strength of the attacker, and you get away. Look at it again. You're not going to pull and fight up because you want your neck, you don't want your neck to pop. Run away, they reach and they grab your hair. Turn, so you're closing, strike to the chest, or the throat, or the face, and run and ball. We're going to do that now, full, high tempo, with voice and everything. Woman, they took my phone. What is that? space. If the door is closed, you make sure that you know that a doorway is open. Make sure you draw attention. Throw something through your window, ladies. Tell something through your doors. Make sure you scream as hard as you can to draw attention to yourself. I know we have just a couple more minutes. So I'm going to bring my team on. Sometimes you have persons. I don't know if you also the one with the car. If you're in a car and the car is empty, please do not go in your front seat. Sit behind the driver where you have a full view of the vehicle. Secondly, before you even get in the car, take a picture of the number plate. Make sure the child lock is not on. Make sure your door could open. You know, sometimes they tell you, open from outside. Check your door first. Say, driver, I come in your car. I check in, making sure the door in and out because they can't put the child lock when you're already in the car. So that means you're sitting. If for some reason they pick up somebody else and you're uncomfortable, you feel it in your stomach, no ask the driver to stop, please. You just want to buy something, get away. Or you want to make some change, get away. Or if then none of that happens, you stretch your hand to the side of the lever, you pull that lever which brings the seat backward. It's best the vehicle collide with something and draw attention to all the passers-by than to carry you away. If by a chance you're in a taxi, you're going to your car, and a guy with a gun come and tell you get out of the car, and you sitting in that car and that car already running, you driving off, because if they get out, now you put your life in total danger with that perpetrator. So you are safer in your vehicle. Again, you're safer in your vehicle. So we're going to do the last technique. We have persons here, and everybody come in at you at the same time. And if come in, you want to make sure you can see what is happening. You can't fight all three of them. And you turn in again, you come in, you turn out. And you always run in the direction that they have a lot of people and a lot of attention. You notice we haven't thrown a fist yet to three attackers. We don't want that at all. I want to just do one more, which is a ground attack, where in case you on the ground and it's trying to now insult you, meaning they're trying to rape you. So I'm the attacker. I am the ground. I pin her hand. You're not going to slide down like this. You're going to fight. Fight. Move up. Move. Right. You're not going to stay still at all. You're wiggling your way right through. You're not going to stay still for one moment. If you do that one more time, the attacker gets you on the ground, they jump up. You hold you up with both hands, but you're ready to get a hand to move. Ask the team on. Trinidad and Tobago viewing audience. Self-defense means self-awareness. Be aware of who you are, your ability, your capabilities, your environment, what is available to you, so you could save your life. Fighting or using a weapon or a makeshift weapon is your last resort. And that means if it comes to push the shove to save your life, you do what is necessary to preserve your life and the life of your family in a reasonable force. I say thank you. Rudan Dojo, Sentimava, John Logan out, and the entire team. Great! Well.
Okay. So,
thank you very much. And Rudan Dojo Foundation. You see that they look at community development, martial arts, self-defense, education, skill training, entrepreneurship program, mentorship. Their Resilience Resource Center located in Enterprise Village in Chaguanas, and you can contact them, check them on their Facebook page. They're on YouTube, they're on Instagram, and they are all about holistic development, looking at young people at risk. Thank you very, very much on behalf of the Heroes Foundation.
And now we would like to have our question and answer segment, whereby the members of either Heroes or the listening audience and viewing audience can now ask questions to suit. They can be directed towards the Colonel, they can be directed towards myself, or it can be directed towards the school entirely, to which the Colonel, he will answer on their behalf. So we would like to hand over, I believe now, to Heroes to ask questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Marcus. And thank you so much, Sensei, for that amazing demonstration.
Yeah.
We picked up a lot of great tips. We were taking notes.
We were.
Excellent.
So I think one of the main things we want to reiterate is that the fact that self-defense is about preventative measures and fighting is the very last resort. Yes, last resort. I also like when she said that self-defense means self-awareness.
Yep.
Yes.
We've been reiterating that throughout the entire term. So that was really, really important that you shared that. So I'm hoping that our listeners or viewers are paying attention to that in particular. Let's see if there's any questions
I think
there.
there's one question there.
There's one
Okay, so there's a question here. I'm not sure who's going to answer it. The first question we have, if you're struggling in a crowd where people cannot really hear you, what can you do?
I think the colonel will be able to answer that one very effectively.
If your voice is not being able to project or attract attention, there are other means of attracting attention. There is visual attention, the flaying of your hands, doing anything to catch the attention of persons. So sometimes it might not only be visual, it cannot be vocal, right? But do anything to attract the attention of somebody. Psychologically, people tend to respond when they seem to feel or see that a child or a young person is in distress, especially young females, right? So any measure necessary that could attract attention, if it can't be a voice, try to do it visually.
And also, if you are close by to person and you're in a crowd, let's just say a fed for some reason, exactly what the sensei would have explained, throw your body, use your legs, use your arms, hit persons and create signals. Create as much contact as you can with persons to get attention towards you. So I hope that I would have answered the question. Next.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we actually have another one. Someone wants to know if there are any tips on how to get rid of the fear in the moment. You know, sometimes we panic in the moment. How is there anything they can do to get rid of that fear?
Train yourself. You have to train yourself to be able to suppress fear, right? So anything that you can internalize that would allow you to feel empowered, to feel brave, right? Because again, once that person is subjecting you to any circumstances, any factors that would cause fear, you are being submissive and he is dominating you. He will overpower you with that fear. So it is a mental process. It is all in your mind. It's a mindset. It's an attitudinal awareness. And I teach people, focus on what is important to you. Who do you have home would miss you if you don't come home? Who you have, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your brothers and sisters, your siblings, your pets, somebody that you want to go back home to so that you can take that fear and internalize it and turn it into something that could work for you.
And in addition to that, speaking of that psychological aspect, when you look at fear, now what I would like to tell our audience, fear, believe it or not, fear is something that you learn. So the word I want you to understand at this point for that question is unlearn. Unlearn fear in certain situations. Let's just say, for example, you may be an adult or you may be a teenager, and let's just say you have a fear of frogs. But a child, a baby who does not know the danger of a frog, they may try to pick up a frog. They will go directly towards a threat. Why? Because they haven't learned the fear, they haven't learned the dangers attached to the situation or to the environment. So you as a person, a young person, regardless, fear is something that you learn. Most times the anticipation in your mind is your biggest problem. That's your biggest obstacle. You are often worried about, if I walk into this or if I try to escape, what if? Instead of thinking, what if they catch me, or what if they take me? Think, what if I didn't try? What if I did not do anything for myself? Or what happens to me if I don't do this? Right? Reverse the psychology on yourself. Do not have fear as a big what if in your mind. Do not let it doubt yourself. There's something called adrenaline. And when adrenaline kicks in, a human being can lift up a small car, believe it or not. A human being. You get super speed. You can run faster. You can scale walls. The amount of things that comes into you when you get adrenaline, fear becomes null and void. But you have to condition your mind, train your body, and don't expect that if you don't train, you don't exercise, you don't practice your martial arts, you don't practice your techniques, don't think it's just going to come out of nowhere. You have to live that lifestyle to eliminate fear altogether. Back to you, heroes.
Okay.
Thank you very much for sharing that, Mr. Tiwari and Colonel Garcia. I see we have one more question here, so I'm gonna ask it. I know Sensei demonstrated being assaulted by one person, like in a sexual situation. Somebody wants to know if there are more than one attacker, how do you respond in that situation?
Right. So we did that a little bit. If there's more than one attacker, you cannot fight two attackers. I don't matter how good you are. The best form is to try to escape and draw attention to yourself by all means necessary. You put yourself in a position where you can see your attackers instead of your back is turned to them, and a way that you could escape very easily. And I wanted to say this here because most of the time you're in a taxi and it's a scenario where there are more than one person in a taxi. And that's why we said sit behind the driver. So if they try, must have somebody driving and a passenger behind, they try to hold you. That way you make sure your door is also unlocked. Door is also unlocked without the child lock. Where you slide your hand behind the driver's seat and have a lever there. But you pull that so he lost focus in the road where the car could collide with something. But it will draw attention to the passerby and all that. If it's a scenario where you're in a street and it's a lonely street and you have two attackers or three attackers, the only form of that is shout as loud as you can, but don't stand. You're running in a direction where you see any form of light or movement and you are shouting with all your life. Your voice is a line of defense as well. And as adults, we try not to call help as adults. As adults, you try to use the word rape because nobody wants nobody to violate another female, male or not. So you shout that as loud as you can, or you shout fire as loud as you can, or you shout police as loud as you can. If it's a child, however, you must call help as loud as they can and run as fast as they can. And while they're running, consistently seek help. Call for help.
Thanks again. Well, I'm seeing the questions are coming in. Huh? So we have two questions here. The first one, I'll ask them together. Can someone be charged for bodily damage while defending themselves? And the other one is, what exactly is too much force when you're trying to escape from an attacker?
Well, as a martial artist, Mr. Garcia, and they will take that, but from a martial artist point of view, because they consider most martial artists to be deadly weapons, we try to paralyze the person and leave it there. Now, I don't want to go on national air and say otherwise. However, whatever is necessary to save your life, that will be considered reasonably force. You're not going to do an overkill. So let us say you have a nail file and your hand happens to reach it in your bag and you stab the person. You're not going to stab them 100 times and say that is self-defense. One stab and you get out. But make sure that one stab counts in a way to paralyze the person and you can seek help from authority or somebody that is around. Yeah?
Right. Force, like Marcus spoke about, reasonable force. So if you are defending yourself and you believe that you are going to experience harm, your life is in danger, by law, you are allowed to use whatever force it is for you to be able to get away and escape. No, you cannot do an action that disables someone and they cannot present a threat to you and you then want to continue assaulting or attacking them. You have just gone beyond reasonable force. So if you have done something and run in escaping, that is reasonable force, right? Regardless of what that force at that point in time would have been, because your intention was to escape. But if that force now incapacitates somebody on the ground, you are and play vigilante, then at that point in time, you become the attacker at that point in time when that person was incapacitated. So reasonable force is what is just equal enough for you to be able to incapacitate, distract, delay, and get away.
Now we have this scenario where you might use reasonable force, and let us say went for somebody eye with a penknife or a nail file or a pencil. But they did that, and as when you turn to run to escape, that person's still coming back at you. They're coming at you, and they're strong because they're training and they have an intent to kill or intent to insult, to assault you. And you turn now and stab that person in the penis or the knee and then run. That is also considered reasonable force because the attack did not stop. They continue, although you made the first strike, they continue to attack you. So now you have to use reasonable force a second time to ensure they are incapacitated to get away.
So again, reasonable force is all that you are required to do at the point in time and as the circumstances have developed to allow you to escape. So for example, again, a person cannot be running away from you and you take up a big stone and you pelt them and you hit them behind the head. That is not reasonable force because the person at that point in time did not present a threat to you. They were leaving, they were running away. Okay, so that is all it is, reasonable force that would allow you to escape. How can I use simple things in my bag and such to defend myself?
Most women have things in their bag, but we're not going to that, right? But that will be done in a private lesson to safeguard family because you know sometimes we may say something and as children is most of our audience, although we know we have adults there, and we don't want people to take it and run away. Everything must be done.
Managing excitement.
Right, managing the excitement. Right, in a private session with adults, we can tell you what you could do with your bag.
Yes, but we don't want mommy to get back to daddy and use what's in the bag for your own reason, right?
Yeah, but then reasonable. Managing your excitement and making sure it is absolutely necessary. Whatever you decide to do, it must be life-threatening to save your life and the person's around you.
Your personal space must be invaded.
Garcia, I think we probably need to take a trip down to Chaguanas to get some of those personal training. The rest of the hero staff.
I agree. Some vital life lessons.
Very.
We have any more questions?
No, I think that's it. I'm not seeing any more questions here. So.
Excellent.
Okay, so
the children, whatever you see, please do not go and practice it on others unless you're within a safe environment where there are instructors where could supervise you as well. Remember, self-defense starts with self-awareness, and the word self-defense means prevention, not attack.
Love that message. And I hope our viewers have listened to that very carefully and take it in. Do not practice it at home without supervision.
Yes.
Train the professional, and I don't think we have trained professionals just hanging around, right?
Well, without further ado, unless there are any final questions, any burning questions that our participants would like to find out? No? Marcus, Sensei, Colonel, anything? Any last words?
Yeah.
Sensei said it.
All I would like to say is on behalf of Broadview Surveillance Systems and on behalf of the Ricardo Dojo, I would like to say thank you very much for the opportunity to partner with Heroes Foundation to bring this to a wider audience. This is something that we will definitely be interested in, even if it's doing a session for the adults at some point in time. In the future, let's just say that there's a serious interest point. We are willing to come back again, we are willing to partner, and we are willing to build a relationship to creating a safer society in Trinidad and Tobago. So I just want to say thank you again.
Thank you. So we would like to, as we bring the session to a close, we would like to thank Colonel Garcia, Sensei, and Marcus for partnering with the Heroes Foundation and sharing such essential and timely information with us today.
Yeah, timely information indeed.
Timely.
I believe we have all benefited from everything that was shared here today, and we encourage persons who are viewing to contact Rio Dan Dojo, and we will share the information and so on social media platform. So if you need that professional assistance or help, you can definitely contact them through the information we will share on our social media platforms.
Yes. So with that, we say thank you again to everyone viewing, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.